Weeby knives, voted one of Field & Stream's best hunting products. Every Weeby knife comes with up to 24 wicked sharp replacement blades. After all, it's a Weeby. Order your Weeby knife today with up to 24 free replacement blades at WeebyKnives.com.
What's so funny?
Well, I heard a joke today, and it's just kind of, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I love a good joke. Do tell.
Well, okay, I hope you like it. So there's two British guys walking down the street. And the one British guy says to the other, "Sorry to hear you buried your wife, old boy." And so the other guy, the widower, he says, "Had to, dead, you know."
I don't get it. I mean, what was the punchline?
Had to, dead, you know.
Oh, so you think a dead spouse is funny?
No, not exactly.
I mean, did they have kids? Did they have grandchildren?
Well, I'm not sure. They might have, but that's not the point of the joke, Lisa.
You're sick.
Well, that may be true, but still, I think it's funny. So where are you headed to this time, Mark? Well, Lisa, I'm headed to northern Minnesota. Going to be trapping beaver with my good friend Todd Wilebski. And Todd is going to have a remarkable catch, so stay tuned.
Sicko.
These bloodshot eyes of knowledge, too proud to ever behold. The all that is this and nothingness out on the bad river road. Out on the bad river road.
Well, we were out here in northwestern Minnesota running a long line for beaver trapping. Going to be running quite a few sets today. A lot of conibears, a lot of footholds, 99% caster mounts, a couple run sets, a couple beavers or dam sets for beaver.
And your friend that's riding along today, that's Jason?
Yes, this is Jason Munchard, a good friend of mine. Do a lot of waterfowl hunting with him. Big time trapper up in northwestern Minnesota. Doesn't get to do much trapping now. His boys are in hockey and stuff like that. So, but he rides along with me quite a bit up there and helps out. Going to be checking a lot of bridge jumping, I guess, for long lining up here in northwestern Minnesota. I'm a couple hours south of home, running a long line for beaver.
So the beaver are moving a lot now. Why is that?
The beaver, first of all, ice out. A lot of flooding up here last fall, this spring, a lot of high waters. A lot of these 2-year-olds are getting kicked out. But that's kind of funny too, with the high water like this, I'll be catching adults also. Their homes are getting flooded out along the rivers here. Up here, we don't have that many river systems or creeks, so I call them major interstates. We have the bigger, the Red Lake River, the Clearwater River, Poplar River. So I set up all these places very, very heavy because of all these traveling beaver. But yes, getting back to your question, it's the 2-year-olds that are traveling. Flooded out adults are looking for new homes, especially the females, to have their young ones this coming spring.
Bob, you stay in. How many sets do we have down here?
We have 4 sets down here. I always try to do two on each side of the rivers. These bigger rivers like this here, I have up to 6 sets because these are the major, what I call interstates. These beavers travel these bigger rivers more than they do the smaller rivers. So yeah, I always try to do 2 conibears on each side and even up to 6 conibears on, 3 conibears on each side. So, but got a couple on this side, got a foothold on the corner over there, and we'll walk down here and check these sets, see what we got. Here we got and this is what I mean about not only your 2-year-olds are traveling down here, but you got your females also. You probably got flooded down here on her bank den or whatever, and traveling up and down these rivers, and nice little approach here, and we'll get her out of the trap and reset it. I'll show you what I do.
That's a dark beaver, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for a river beaver up here. We get a lot lighter color beaver. You start getting these darker beaver and stuff. You start getting more east, you know, to the forest zone, stuff like that. But yeah, that is a nice nice dark beaver for a river beaver for around here.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Shields All Sports. Follow your passion for everything outdoors. By Dakota Line Snares and Trapping Products. Snares loaded for speed. And by Weeby Fleshing and Skinning Knives. We are wicked sharp. We are Weeby.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Weeby Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WeebyKnives.com to get the new Monarch folding knife with 3 replacement blades for just $19.95. Weeby Knives, Wicked Sharp.
But yeah, that is a nice nice dark beaver for a river beaver for around here. One thing when you get closer to these bridges around here, you run into a lot of riprap rock. Stuff like that, so. I use these stakes, I pre-cut them at home, so that way, I know it's a little extra stuff to carry, but that way I'm not looking for sticks up and down the bank. I can come down here, and I do like to block them off. I know a lot of people, you know, say different, things like that, but I do like to block them off a little bit. Especially when you got a bigger gap. In the state of Minnesota, our traps have to be half submerged, so I like to try to keep them a little bit below because all these the water's starting to fluctuate down now. It was really, really high earlier. Now it's starting to come down, so I like to have my trap a little bit lower, so that way when it goes down, it's still workable. I do like to use a popple stick. I cut these all pre-made, give them a little bit extra. I'm not even going to say eye appeal, but just a little bit. I don't throw mud up on the bank a lot of times. I just grab my lure like this here, put up on top like that, and done. And we are out of here. And wait for the next beaver to come through. And we have another location down here. There's another one that's bigger than a 2-year-old. There we go. Just, yeah, 330 Dukes. I got 10 foot of cable with a clip on the end with a T-bar stake. I like the longer cable. It gets them out of there. You know, out into the water, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, I guess. And just like every other trapper, I always put my triggers on the bottom to less fur damage. And sometimes, like I said, we run into the rocks. So you just kind of do what you can do best with. Make sure your trap is stable, like that, and we are good. Little stick right there. So I have my peel stick. Put that in the back. And that's all there's to it. And I got 2 more on the other side.
Yes, they do. They are an amazing, humane trap for dispatch. These traps are lethal traps. That's why the state of Minnesota, either you have to have them submerged or halfway in, half in and half out of the water, you're allowed to in the state of Minnesota. You got the trigger system, you got the dog systems, different sensitivity. You can put them on the first hole or the middle hole. There's only 2 of them on the 330s. I like to have the last hole, a little bit of tension on there. I don't like to have them quick fire. But these are, Beaver comes through here, hits these triggers and it goes off. These are safety latches, so you don't get them on your arm or anything like that. You unhook those safety latches when you have your trap set. I will show you that right now. Clear some of the debris off of there. Here's your safety mechanisms, and here's the other one. It's ready to fire, just like a gun when you take the safety off. Beaver comes through there, hits that trigger, it lodges them right underneath the throat. Sometimes they get suitcase, but still, if you look at here, it was right up here, right underneath the throat, they're dead instantly. Very humane trap for dispatching beaver. Amazing trap for otter also, and very good tool for fur harvesting.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Redneck Convent, gear for the rugged, tough outdoors. By F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, everything you need for trapping and hunting. And by Southern Snares Trapping Supply, our customer success is our priority. They say the real work starts after the shot, and looking back, they could be right, unless you carry a Weeby knife. The scouting and plan were executed. The shot was perfect. Now it's time to get busy. Wicked sharp with a replaceable scalpel blade. There's not a finer hunting partner on the planet than your Weeby knife. When sharpness, reliability, and precision matter, big game hunters reach for a Weeby. Weeby knives, wicked sharp.
So we will reset this, and I will show you. This is kind of a little different set. We had no way of... Beaver are coming up here making casters. It's all flat here. I couldn't dug anything out to make a legal set here for the state of Minnesota. And so what I did was I went out here, put the trap here underneath the water. Here I have my guide sticks, if you will, just like that. Make sure it's stable. Perfect. I took debris. I started over just like this here. Put them up like that. Took this other handful of debris. I put up like that. Took the rest of the debris and I put it like that. I put some out in front, I put some in back. I want that beaver to come through here and dive. This here blocks him, this here blocks him. This is already a deep run coming up through here. You can see my foot right here, nothing. Low spot right through here, all the way through there. And what I did was, I took some lure, put a top stick up here, like that. No caster mounds, no nothing. He'll come along here, smell that lure. I can even put a little bit up here, and he'll come right through that channel. Just like so. Simple sets, in and out. I mean, that's, with any kind of trapping, you see some of these top long liners for coyotes, dirt hole, and they just rack up the numbers. Yes, they throw a flat set in after a remake, stuff like that, but same with pocket sets. You get some of the most amazing pocket set guys, mink guys, a lot of them from Minnesota here, a lot of them from other states too. One system, all pocket sets, in and out of the ditches, quick. Same with beaver trapping. If you want numbers, to try to make a little gas money, extra money, Christmas money, you gotta have a system that works for you. Let's walk down here another 10 feet and check another trap. And there again, if you look at this here, there was a perfect neck catch with this 330 conibear. Dispatch didn't even move the sticks out of the place here where I had it stabilized. That's what you always want. You know, I respect all these animals that I trap. I want them to dispatch humanely, and that's how I want it done. And just again, like I've said, I'm kind of repeating myself, but dog always on the bottom, just like that. Just like that. Take my setters, do a little whittling of the stick, put that back up there. And yes, I do use a little bit of sticks here because I don't want him to be going around. That's all I use, just like that.
Todd, there's mud down here. Did a beaver put that there?
Yes, after I came up here, the beaver had put, after this beaver was caught, you can kind of see on the back here, there's some chew marks. When these beaver are laying here and they don't go to the end of the cable or drownder, other beavers will chew on them. It's just a territorial thing because they smell that castor up there that I put down here. They think it's this beaver, so they're challenging that beaver. They chew them up, bite them up, and they'll come up there and make their own little castor mound. You can see after this beaver was here, there's markings up here. That the stick that I had here is peeled around, and yeah, they come up here and they make their own little castor mound sets. So yeah, we'll lure this up and go to the next spot.
Wiebe Trapline Adventures is brought to you by Cold Creek Trapping Products, serious trapping gear for the serious trapper. By Mark Steck Animal Lures, top quality baits and lures with proven performance. And by Weeby Knives. Don't ever get caught in the field again with a dull knife.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Weeby Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WeebyKnives.com to get my Wicked Sharp Vixen folding knife with 24 replacement blades for only $34.95. Weeby Knives, Wicked Sharp.
Maybe 20 years ago. Kids were all young. I was doing some under ice beaver trapping over by Carlson, that ditch. And walking around a beaver house, it was my own fault, kind of right before springtime came up. I was walking by some cattails. There was a beaver run underneath the snow, cattails that I didn't see. And all of a sudden, down I went. My one leg went down and my other leg was up like that through the ice. Remember I was telling you that? And thank God that there was a handful of cattails there that were froze in. That was my only way of getting out of there. I couldn't touch bottom with my foot that was through the ice. I was actually like doing the splits. It was probably the most scariest thing I've ever been through, you know, about going through or going under. My grandfather's a state trapper. Yep, they did an article of him in the Grand Forks Herald many, many years ago. He was a leech guy, minnow guy. And yeah, my mom actually, who was 91, used to help him skin. All the brothers and sisters did. It was kind of a family affair. And when I take my mom with me checking a few mink sets and stuff, she always remembered the mink musk smell from the basement when she was a kid. She said that's one odor that will never go away from her mind. They were from Lake Bronson, Minnesota, yep. A couple, about 4 or 5 miles from the Canadian border, yep. He worked for the railroad company and trapped. And I have a set right down here, about 20 yards. And I didn't notice the trap there, so hopefully we'll have a catch. I always like feeling weight on these things like that. Big line like this here for quite a while because it's such a big river. There's so many tributaries coming into this river like this. I would say a good 2-3 weeks. You know, it's just the smaller ditches, you know, you'll get your 1 or 2 and then pull. But these bigger rivers like this here, the bigger what I call the interstates of the trapping, is you'll have a good 2-3 weeks of a major beaver run here. And then, you know, if there's ponds back in the woods, things like that, they start opening up, there'll be a new wave of beaver coming through these things. But yeah, a good 2-3 weeks, you could hammer beaver like this. That's why I always set up, I should even have 3 traps on this side. I mean, that's how many beaver are coming through these the bigger river systems up here. They do, yes. They follow the current. I mean, whether they're going downstream, they're always hugging the current, or I mean, hugging the edges, I should say, or going upstream. That's why I set both sides. Because see, this is the south side of the river. There's the north. So he had to, you know, he smelt the lure even on the south side, even though the prevailing wind usually is from the northwest this time of year, or any time of the year, I guess. But the wind switches all the time too. But yeah, so that they're always called bank huggers, just like, you know, like your mink and things like that. So. Well, we are halfway through our line here. We probably got 20-some beaver in the back here. It's been a good day so far. We had light rain last night. These beaver are really, really moving, refreshing up their castor mounds, checking out and making new castor mounds. So yeah, got a lot more traps to check, but we thought we'd stop here, take a little break, and show you what all the hard work is all about right here. You know, simple sets, you know, up and down these ditches, you know, quite a few miles, highway miles, gravel miles. There's a lot of fur out there to be caught.
Well, we're about halfway through Todd's line, and the catch has been really, really good. So tune in next week when we'll finish the line. And I tell you, I'll give you a little hint, Todd's truck is going to be sinking low. So until then, peaceful waters.
There we got one in a foothold.
Out on the bad river road. Out on the bad river road.
Another 2-year-old. I'm gonna move my trap over a little bit here.
The whole wide world's at your fingertips.
The perfect hunting and fishing companion, your Weeby knife, designed by sportsmen for sportsmen. After all, it's a Weeby. Order your Weeby knife today with up to 24 replacement blades, free, and guaranteed $5 flat rate shipping on any sized order at WeebyKnives.com.